Do you ever get paranoid that someone might be watching you while you're sleeping in your car? Are you sick of just not having your own privacy? Are you getting tired of waking up with the sun even though you're not quite ready to?
Well, today is your lucky day. We have a solution for you.
So when we decided to do our own shades for the windows, we kind of went through a few different phases. So the first time we tried doing it, we just used your regular sunscreens that you can buy from like the dollar store or from Walmart, and they just fold out and you can just put them up in the front windshield. So we bought a few of those, we cut them to the shapes of the windows that we have, and then it worked all right. But the problem was they were silver. So you could definitely see it from the outside, and we wanted it to be a little more stealthy. So we thought maybe we could just color them black. So we bought some spray paint, painted them all black, and then we thought, okay, problem solved. Except that the texture of those sunscreens is kind of this crinkly material, and after a little while all that paint started to flake off into the car and cause a pretty big mess. So we decided, okay, we need another solution. So the third phase of it was to actually use black duct tape. And we actually went through and duct taped the whole screens, as you can see here, just across like that. And this worked all right for a little while as well. But as you can see from this, it got pretty crinkly, and actually like the tape started rolling a bit and it was getting a little sticky and everything, and it even started to shrink a little bit. You could really start seeing it from the outside again, especially all the wrinkles and everything, so we decided we needed to get a fourth option. Like, what else can we do? So we decided we're gonna make a pocket made of cloth and just put that screen in it, and that way you kind of have a more continuous sort of look, and you don't see all those lines of duct tape and all the wrinkles and everything like that. So we went to a fabric store, bought a piece of white fabric, bought a piece of black fabric, cut them out to fit the shade itself, and then just sewed it together like this. You can kind of see. Sewed it all the way around, and then we just flipped the whole thing in and inside out. And then we popped this shade in. So after we put that shade into this pocket, you can see it looks pretty nice from the outside, very continuous. You don't see all the wrinkles like we did with duct tape. And we have a nice white on the inside that helps kind of make the inside of the car look a little bigger. Velcro.
Velcro. In order to hold these window covers in place, we also tried a couple, went through
So Phil really sucks at talking, so I'm gonna do this now. After we made the shades, we kind of still had a few problems with keeping the shades up on the windows. After a couple of weeks, we noticed that the middles would start to sag, pull away from the window. So we were trying to think of what we could do to make it stick to the window and stay flat. And we came up with using adhesive Velcro. So we bought a couple from Staples or Home Depot, and I think Phil was looking for heat-resistant ones specifically. But even though we got those ones, after a couple weeks, especially in the summer when it gets really hot inside the van, even that, the adhesiveness wasn't really working anymore. So it's still starting to fall off. So we kind of had to look for another solution. On the middle side windows, you can see that we do have that Velcro, and for some reason those ones are working. I don't know why. I think maybe this one was a little bit more heavy duty or something, and I did have to end up stitching one side of the Velcro to the covers of the screen that we used on that one. So that one's pretty secure. Even when we have the window open and we're driving on the highway, it is not moved at all.
It just doesn't look very nice. They do have black ones, which I forgot to get. Instead of I got the clear ones. If you walk by, you can't really see it, but if you stare at it, you can clearly see we're sticking something on the window.
Yeah, so part of it was aesthetics for us. We kind of want to make it as stealthy as we can, so we didn't want to have super obvious things like that. So then our final solution really came when I found these metal sort of brackets at Lowe's or Home Depot, and they work perfectly. They're very, very thin, and they come in a lot of different lengths and sizes. So I have a couple small ones, we have a couple big ones. I decided to make some white covers for them too, just because, you know, it looks nicer, and You don't have all these sharp metal things pointing everywhere.
And they're only like, what, 98 cents?
They were like, yeah, $1 each
98 cents
maybe.
each.
They were super cheap. And for us, it worked out really well because it's thin enough that it actually can slide between the glass and the plastic panel. So that really worked well for us. So we would just put these screens in, and then we'll use one of these metal brackets to hold the entire screen in, and that way it actually holds the screen right up flush to the window and prevents it from kind of bulging and sagging in the middle.
And now, as you can see from the outside, it looks clean and nothing is sticking. And we also have tinted windows, so that makes it a little bit darker as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it works out
pretty well, yeah. And especially for this back window up here, because it is folding up, often we have it open and the gravity also pulls that down a lot. So having these metal brackets really helps as well. Hold it.
Still falls down like a lot.
Once in a while, it falls down.
Like I think every day we still have to kind of
shift it a little bit maybe, but it's a lot better than what it was before.
Yeah.
So not the perfect solution, but it works pretty well for us. For the front of the car, we decided that instead of making 3 extra panels for the front windshield and the 2 front windows, that we would just kind of bypass all that by putting in a curtain. And that just sits right behind the front seats, and that way the front seats can be open and people can look in there and they see it's empty, and we can still have our little privacy in the back. It actually worked out really well. We got a dowel to put in as a curtain bar across the entire top of the car, and then we bought a blackout curtain, so that way even though we have lights on inside the car, the curtain is able to stop any of the light kind of coming out.
And the dowel is wood material. We tried the metal one at first, but after a while the middle of it would bend a lot, and then we tried the wood one, and now it works perfect.
Yeah, so we did actually have to drill 2 holes in the plastic panels at the top on either side just to put that dowel in, but it was pretty simple. There was no complications really in that process at all. So this is the blackout curtain that we bought from Lowe's. It was actually just one very long curtain that we cut in half, and the bottom of the curtain actually had a hemline that I could use, and so I flipped it upside down, sewed another line on it, and that made it possible to put the pole through it just like the top end of the curtain. So the bottom of it, I just basically folded away the excess, sewed another hemline here, and then that was it. And made it really easy to have 2 curtains rather than just one. And at night when we need to close it up, we just use an alligator clip and we just clip it like that. Super simple. Done.
Okay.
Mic drop.